Hi friends, welcome back or to the channel. It is a beautiful sunny Saturday and we are working on this beautiful pile of parts. I did take some time the other day and actually clean it out. I had to rip the headliner down because you guys remember when I picked it up the headliner was trash, but I will never understand why in the 70s and 80s people were putting house carpet in their cars. It traps water, it creates condensation, and then your floorboards go to shit. I understand it was probably cheap and cushy and like it was a cool thing, but don't do that, okay? I am blown away at how nice these seats are still. Well, this seat in the back of the front one still is. And look at this vinyl pattern here. It's so cool. Cleaning it up, I found this this cool little Fury stamp in both rear doors. It's not in the front doors, but it is in the rears. I did get it cleaned up, a little bit. I gave it a quick wash, hosed 40 years of dirt off of it, and it's actually in really good shape. Now this is a 318 poly. It is a single 4-barrel carburetor, but I haven't pulled the air filter off yet to check it. It does not have power brakes. You can see that is not a power brake booster, but that's fine. No power brake booster just means I don't have to rebuild the booster. So that's good for me. We're gonna try to get this thing going. Hopefully, it's not locked up. I am optimistic that this engine will turn. And if it will turn, we got a pretty good chance of making this thing run. It's gonna be a 12-volt system while we're cranking it and trying to get it to start. It's fine. I would not recommend driving it as a 12-volt car, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, all I want to do is make sure that it turns over. We pull the plugs out, put some stuff down the cylinders, just so they're a little happier. What else? Oh, got to disconnect the fuel system, because it does still have the factory pump down here, which is caca, but we're going to disconnect the fuel system just in case that pump decides to work. I don't think there's anything in that tank, but I don't want to take the chance of it sucking something up into the carbonator, and you know the drill. So, get some gloves on. I love these gloves. They're like, I don't know, $2 a pair at the Harbor Freight, and I absolutely love these things. I wear the shit out of them. Now, I did check this already, and it was a little low. It took, I don't know, half a gallon maybe. So that is fantastic. That tells me that my cooling system is not, like the radiator doesn't have a leak and all of the freeze plugs are still intact. So that's good news. Get out of here. Now, moment of truth. Oh, no way. Oh, bud. She spins over pretty decently. I mean, I want to pull the plugs. Now, get out of here, man. I'm going to pull the plugs if we can get the wires off, because chances of me breaking these wires is pretty high. I'm going to try to get the wires off, pull the plugs out. We'll send a borescope down in the cylinders. Guys, she spins free. It doesn't catch anywhere. Check that out. Gates high capacity 8261. That's why we buy Gates belts right there, boys. See the rusty spot where the belt was sitting? We've made more than one full rotation of the engine, so I am stoked. That's great news. That means this engine will at least rotate. I'm sure the compression is going to be a little low because it's been sitting for so long, but the rings should come around Once we get it running, the rings will come around and it will start to build more compression. But for now, we need to get these plug wires out of here. Pull the plugs out, put the peepers on them, make sure they're good. I'm sure they're going to be dirty as hell because, you know, all of these old cars have fouled plugs in them for some weird reason. Shh. I'm not going to hurt you. I just want to love you. I just want to give you a second chance at life. You've been sitting for so long. I want you to just to sound happy and to be happy. That's all. I'm not going to hurt you, okay? Just be my friend. I'll be your friend. We're good. Okay, now, when you're messing with these old plug wires, they tend to get brittle. So what I usually do is I'll grab a hold of them as far in as you can, like as close to the base, and just twist them a little bit. Because when you just come in here and you start yanking, you break the boots off. But typically if you come in and you twist them a little bit, and you'll feel when they break free, because it'll give like, you'll have resistance and then it'll just break free all of a sudden. But once they break free, then you can just go ahead and pull them right off. Careful when you're extracting these too, because if they start pushing back or feeling resistance, like if it's going smooth and it starts feeling like it's getting tight, stop. Run it back in, because the chances of you pulling the threads out of one of your plug holes is pretty good. And if you pull the threads out, then you're in trouble. You got big problems. Man, that plug, I told you, was going to have some foul ass plugs. Man, almost out of party sauce. Now, easy there, fella. I usually just take some red Scotch-Brite. Clean the points up a little, or not the points, but the electrode and the diode in there. It don't take much, you know. That's good enough. That looks good. Then make sure you spray towards the wind so it comes back and gets right in your eyes, because everybody loves brake cleaner in the eyes. Lay down, dude. Now, we're just going to take that and put it up here, because it's clean and ready to go back in, but it's not going back in just yet. Oh, that's not good. There she goes. Number 2. I guess technically that would be number 3, but whatever. It's the second plug we've started to pull, which is number 2. Okay? Tomatoes, potatoes, it doesn't matter. It's all rocket appliances. I had it all the way out. I did not. There she is. Okay, just as bad. Told you. Every one of these old cars I've ever messed with has had the same level of nasty plug. I mean, you know, some of them have had fuel soaked, or I've pulled a few that were rusty, but for the most part, they all look just like this. Which is indicative of, I don't know if that's the right word, but which is indicative of somebody driving the shit out of these cars, which is good, because they were not built to sit. Which is kind of why, you know, I do what I do. I always pick them up for a good deal, throw a little bit of time at them, some money, and and then we just move them on down the road to somebody that's going to drive them, that's going to appreciate them, that's going to do, you know, a little bit more work to them or whatever. But it breaks my heart to see beautiful old cars like that, because this thing is absolutely a beautiful car. These are beautiful cars, and it breaks my heart to see when people have them and they just park them and they're going to restore them one day, you know. And 95% of the time, they never get restored. 95% of the time, the person that owned the car, that parked it, that said they were going to restore it, ends up passing away, and then somebody in their family ends up selling the car for dirt cheap or scrapping it or whatever, and they don't get love like they should. These cars deserve love. They should have love. They should be taken care of and enjoyed and used, you know? Which, by the way, I am in no way, shape, or form an automotive purist. I don't think every vehicle should be restored back to factory and all that fun shit. I'm not that guy. You know what I mean? I fully believe that buy them, fix them up, you know, make them, ruin them, put them on air ride, do goofy, weird paint jobs, you know, do whatever you want to do. It's your car. Customize it to what you want. Unless your plan is to just flip it for some cash, in that case, yes, restore it back to factory, take your chances. But a properly done, ruined classic, 9 times out of 10 will bring you more money than a perfectly restored back to factory car. But it's also a more niche market. So you may have to hold on to it for a little while longer or advertise it differently, but I am not a purist. I don't believe that everything should be restored back to factory. In case you didn't notice, nothing here is factory. I totally support anybody that wants to modify a vehicle. Just do it classy, do it tastefully. You know, don't just take sawzalls to shit and you know, just cut them up and if you don't know what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Like, make it yours, make it different, make it unique, but also make it safe-ish. Heavy on the ish, because a lot of my shit's not real, you know, roadworthy or whatever. But fix them up to the way you want them. Because if it's something you plan on keeping, it may as well be something that you love and you enjoy driving and you're excited to use it. Sorry, rant over. I'm going to pull the rest of the plugs out. You guys have seen 2. If I come across any surprises or any weird, if any of the plugs look like they're not supposed to look or anything like that, I'll bring you guys back. But if not, I'm just going to bang out the other 6. We're going to come back when it's time to send the borescope in the holes, and we'll go from there. I told you guys, okay, I told you guys I'd bring, if I found something interesting. Look at this. That's kind of interesting. There's water in that hole. Not a lot, obviously, but there's definitely some condensation in that piston. Hopefully, the piston itself is good and the walls aren't rusty and all that stuff. I'll tell you what, though, that gap is uncomfortably close. So I got to re-gap this one before I shove it back in. But it is interesting. It's a whole lot of something down in that hole. Like I said, I don't know how much water it is, but it's more than I wanted in there. I'll carry on. This plug right here is an absolute joke to get into because of this gigantic bracket that's holding up the generator. But If you're persistent about it, you can get it out of there. Out's the easy part. Getting it back in is going to be fun. I bought this adorable little extension slash wobbly thing. Just we were at Walmart one day and I was like, oh, that's cuter than shit. I'm going to buy it. This thing saved my life today. Well, not my life, that's a bit dramatic, but this thing come in clutch because with just the socket, I couldn't get the ratchet down in there. But with my regular 3 and 4 inch extensions, it wouldn't fit. It was too long and it kept running into the bracket. So this little guy come in clutch. Pull the top off the air filter, and good thing they left the air filter in there because look at all this. Look at all that. Mouse turds and acorns and peaches and you see that thing crawling in there? That thing right there? It is weird that the air filter housing is this big and they put this little tiny air filter in there. Why wouldn't you? Okay. It don't make sense, but whatever. Now, comes the moment of truth, whether the fuel toilet here is froze up or not. Ooh, it moves. It's a little sticky, so I'm going to take and spray down all the linkages with some penetrating oil. Now I know this is a 6-volt system, but it's going to be a 12-volt system for a little while, which, like I said, is going to be fine while I'm cranking the motor, but I don't plan on running it as a 12-volt system, but let's do a smoke test. No sparkage, that's good. Just give it a minute to see if any smoke starts coming out of anywhere. Open the door and have a smell. No, I don't think so. I wonder what that pedal does. Fire extinguisher. You know, for Justin. Because once you've had one of these old cars catch fire on you while you were out dicking around with it, that's all it takes. You learn to have one of these things. Keep that thing on you. You know what I'm saying? Okay. We have power to our starter button now. The cycle is completed. Oh, come on, man. Problem is this connection right here. See? Motor rolls over nice. Just this connection right here is not very happy. Light down in here. Shove this guy up in our spark plug hole. Maybe. $45, $50. Let's try it on another one. About the same. Well, that one was up closer to 60. That's looking better. Oh, shit, I gotta get a pencil. I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that these points are filthy, because they're points. There's a dead spider in there on the rotor. Rotor looks good, though. Yeah, it's a little corroded, but it's not bad. But the cap. Oh yeah, the cap definitely could use some loving. hit them with a flick. Points actually don't look too bad. They look like they're fairly new. So let's grab cleaning stuff. I need you guys to tell me if you see spark in between the points there. I was just going to jump in the cab and bump the key a little bit. Well, did it do anything? Did it do the thing? Well, I did not, I can't conclusively tell if we have spark or not because my camera can only film in 1080p. Well, my camera can film in 4K, but my computer can only edit in 1080, and I had it so close I couldn't tell if I was getting spark out of there or not. So what we're going to do is just test for 12 volts on each side of the coil here, and that will tell us if we have power to the coil and from the coil. That will kind of be a good identifier. So let's grab the test light. Okay, keys on, lights grounded. Have power to the coil and from the coil, so I don't know how much, but we definitely have power to and from the coil, okay? Which is a good start. Now, we have power at the points, so the points must just be dirty or need to be filed or readjusted. So we're going to do that real quick. I'm going to try to just hit them with a little flick. See if there's corrosion or something built up in here. Then just hitting them with that flick usually knocks it out, you know. Like that. Now clean the armature side. A little crusty, but felt all right. Now, we're just going to do it the easy way, and I'm going to grab an inline spark tester. We're going to put the cap back on and just, let's not forget about the rotor. That's kind of important too. Put the cap back on and put our inline spark tester in and just do it that way. These inline testers are super easy to use. You just take one end, put it to your spark plug, one end, stick it to your wire, and then you just watch this light, which you guys are going to watch for me again, and if it flashes when the motor cranks over, you have spark. Okay, are you watching the light? Did it flash? Did it do the thing? It did. Okay, that's good. That means we have spark. And that means today is not the day that I give you a lesson on adjusting points and all that fun stuff. That means that we have spark. We kind of have some compression. We're pretty close to making a fire with this deal. So here's the situation. We have kind of compression. We have compression on a couple of cylinders. We do have spark, just confirmed. Now we're going to give it a little drinky poo and see if it'll at least bark a little bit. I don't expect anything spectacular, but I do want to see if it will at least bark off with some fuel dumped down the carbonator. So I'm nervous, but I'm also really excited too. So let's dump some fuel down the gullet and see what happens. We have confirmed spark, compression. It's got fuel in it. Let's see what happens. Oh man, it wants to. kidding. I had no lift or tick, no nothing. That sounded so good. Whew, and it stinks too. Good Lord. Let's go. Runs, baby. It only runs for a few minutes or a few seconds because I'm only dumping a little bit of fuel down the gullet at a time. But she has been awakened from her 40-year slumber, and I am stoked. I cannot believe, like, there's no lifter noise or nothing. It busted off and it just purrs. It's so smooth. It smokes a lot, but I also did dump quite a bit of transmission fluid down the cylinders to run that compression back up, but I couldn't be more excited with how this thing runs. We did it. We did another one. You know, now that we got this fun part done, we got to tackle everything else. That's the shitty stuff. You know, like brakes and figuring out why, seeing if the fuel pump works. I think it will, but I am strangely optimistic for whatever reason. But let's give it another drink and give you guys another sound clip and show you just how well this thing sounds. It's so good. Now remember, I'm only giving it about 8 seconds worth of fuel. But check this out. I have not touched the throttle or anything. Look at that. It's just smoking like crazy. Can you see it? Definitely smells like it's been sleeping for a while, but it does in fact run, boys. I'm stoked. And why is it that every old car I've ever messed with, the starter sounds exactly the same when it turns over? I will never understand that, but considering we had a few cylinders that were low on compression, it fires up nicely, it runs nice. I am stoked. Don't forget to turn the key off. But, whew, mission accomplished for the day, guys. It does run. I can't believe the shape that everything is in. Like, the carburetor's not froze up, nothing. I mean, I do have the fuel line disconnected, you know, like I said, just in case there was something in that tank, based on the fact that it's been sitting for 38 years, but I didn't want to take a chance. So now we got to bring the fuel pump back around, which is, you know, relatively easy to do in theory. Then after we can get it to run on its own, well, on an actual fuel system instead of just giving it a shot right down the throat there, then we can tackle, you know, putting it on its own fuel system. But it's a huge relief also, because this car is a complete unknown. I had no idea if it was parked because it has a dead hole. From what I was told, it was parked because it had a bad rear main seal and it was like hemorrhaging oil, but that's not that big of a deal. And now I know, you know, because when you buy these old cars, there's always suspicion, especially after this long, because 38 years. People forget issues, or they forget why it was parked or something. It's always something, you know. There's always a bit of mystery there, which is kind of the fun in figuring all this stuff out. But now that we know, I'm stoked. Tomorrow, I'm gonna come out and play with it some more, I think, unless we go on a family adventure somewhere. But, you know, for now, we just confirmed that it does run. Neighbors. Anyway, it does run. Everything does what it should do as far as the spark goes and all that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm thrilled. The next time you guys see it, maybe we'll be working on a fuel system. Hopefully. So that's going to wrap it for this one. Thank you for stopping by today. I appreciate you. If you're not, subscribe to the channel. You know, do all the YouTube things, like and share and subscribe and all that stuff. And remember, your dreams aren't going to work unless you do. So keep in mind that no project is ever too far gone. As long as you've got a little bit of patience and YouTube University, there's nothing you can't figure out how to fix. Thanks for watching, guys.